Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Escape Champions League. We are here with the final stage, the final sort of event. Yeah, 3v3 Europe West, and this is where it all ends. At least the league stage ends here, and this is the final sort of hurdle now before we get to the Grand Land final.
That's it, exactly. We're getting there. We've got 2 more weeks of ECL today, and then we'll be back next Saturday, and then there's going to be a little bit of a break while we set up the LAN.
Yep.
And then we'll be streaming that at the end of August.
Yeah. There's going to be a bit of a gap there because obviously we need to prepare everything. We need to book flights. We need to organize accommodation and food. And catering for 150 people is no easy task, as well as all of the other numerous things, making the studio comfortable, making the studio look good, having a plan, promotional material, trailers, competitions, all the things, everything. You imagine it, we want to do it.
That's it. So many things to do, but we will get them done.
Yes, exactly. And, at this point, we know the 2 confirmed teams to the LAN final. It will be Secret and AM. They are going to finish in the top 2 spots. I think it's possible for AM to overtake Secret, although maybe not, because Secret aren't playing today. Why are Secret not playing today, Robo?
Secret are not playing today because Team Brazucas were unable to get 3 players together to play the game in basically the first 2 weeks. And you're supposed to play 1 round per week. Mm-hmm. They couldn't do it in the first week, and then in the second week they still couldn't do it. And it was essentially a case of, well, we don't want to delay the entire last event for much longer for one team. Like, in some of the previous rounds, I've been quite lenient because it's been incredibly important, those points, to decide who makes it, and I really don't want to potentially have a team make it to the LAN because somebody else got an admin win or something like that.
Right.
But Secret's guaranteed to make it. Brazil 100% cannot make it.
Right.
So
yeah, it
didn't really make a difference
aside from the prize money. But at the end of the day, you can't spend over 2 weeks trying to schedule a game when the tournament has to move on. And so it's unfortunate because it is really actually the only admin win of the tournament. But, these things happen. So that's why we don't have the Brazucas versus Team Secret game today. Did you update the brackets, by the way? To reflect that?
No, but I can do that.
Okay, well, Robo's going to update the brackets. We'll show you how that's going to look, because obviously Team Secret will actually go through to the second round automatically. But coming up today, Frantic versus Suomi, Heresy versus VNA, AM versus SY, and there it is, the bracket as well for this 3v3 stage. And we've also got a change to one of the maps, I think. Is there a team version of one of the maps?
Yes, Acropolis, which was played in the 1v1, will
be
Team Acropolis for the team games. So instead of everyone being on their own hill, they're combined on one big team hill, just like there was in the first Europe stage in Europe East back in July, I think, last year.
Yeah.
A long time
ago now. So yes, that's what's happening today. That's the maps. And Yeti Hill asking about when is the LAN. The information is all on the link in the chat. You can go to there and find some information. Join the Discord server, look at tickets, look at the LAN information as well, and see the countdown to the LAN. Obviously, it's going to be one of the most hyped events of the year. It should be very exciting and should see a lot of awesome games. And obviously, nothing beats having 2 of the best teams in the world going head to head on stage without lag.
With some of the best casters as well, there able to chat, and then post game interviews. You don't have some messing around with TeamSpeak or Skype or Discord.
Oh, yeah.
You just walk over and you can have a chat with the players, see them live and in person, see how they reacted. And
of course, having a live audience as well, the place is going to be buzzing. We expect to have between 100 and 150 people at the LAN, and so it should be a great atmosphere. There should be a lot of hype. There should be a lot of noise from the audience, and I'm looking forward to that more than anything. Just having that atmosphere is going to be incredible. Obviously, Barbecue Turkman is going to be there, so he can chat and have many beers with many people. Obviously, if he tries to have a beer with everyone, he might not be making it out of the door by the end of the night, but
that's fine. We've got some couches here. You could sleep on one of those.
Yeah, we've even got a bed in the studio now. Robo's
Kind of.
looking at me like, what? Bed? What? We have a
There-
bed?
There's kind of a bed, yeah.
We have a sofa bed.
Yeah.
It's a sofa that turns into a bed.
Yeah.
We even have a
it
shower.
works. Oh, yeah, the shower definitely helps.
You can live here. It's great
Yeah.
if you wanted to.
There's a tiny kitchen.
Yeah, so it's all good stuff. And I can't wait for it. So if you do want to come to the LAN and you're interested in attending the LAN, anyone is welcome to join the LAN. Obviously, there are limited tickets, so you need to make sure that you get on the Discord, buy your ticket. And if you have any questions regarding the LAN, the best place to ask is in the Discord server, because we won't necessarily be able to get to all questions and things today. But I want to put that out there and give you guys all the information that you need on the stream. So we're going to go into our first game soon. We've got Frantic versus Suomi, and it's going to be a best of 3, of course, for the first round. Houseboat, Fortress, and Clearing are the maps.
Interestingly enough, Suomi picking Houseboat, our first map. I wonder what sort of, special strategies have they got prepared for this wacky map. And also, before we get into the game, we need to mention that we've been working with CaptureAge over the past week or two, testing out a new 3v3 version of CaptureAge. Because previously, we've only seen 1v1s and 2v2s casted with CaptureAge.
Yep.
And now they're continuing to update it, add new features, and today we're going to sort of be premiering the 3v3 version of CaptureAge for everyone here on the stream.
Actually, we'll talk about that in more detail, I think, once we start the game. But that's right. We've got the 3v3 version to premiere here. A few new features, a few interesting things, and I guess without further ado, we will jump into it because we don't want to keep you guys waiting any longer. Much anticipated games right here, and with any luck, we'll go straight into our first match between Frantic and Suomi, a best of 3 in the first round of the final event in the Escape Champions League. This is going to be Houseboat, and as Robo just said, we are going to be using the 3v3 edition of CaptureAge. Here it is in all of its glory. Please do tell us, by the way, if the game sound is too loud. We can adjust that very quickly. But we previously saw CaptureAge in 1v1. We saw it in 2v2. Obviously, the more players you add, the more data is needed on the screen, and the more detailed it needs to become.
And the harder it is to display all of that data.
Yeah, and so this has been a sort of work in progress for some time now, but we will give you a quick rundown on the new things.
Okay, so first of all, on the bottom left, we've got just the 3 teams as usual. You can see all the players for each team, their total resources, and now you can click on this scene.
On here?
Well, yes, onto the right-hand side of the scene, you can click and you can rotate through the different scenes. But we've got the totals here, as we do in all the other versions of CaptureAge. Between the 2 teams, you can easily compare how many villages you have, how many idle villages, and here we see the different panels that we can cycle through.
Yeah, so we can see KDs, we can see how many town centers, relics they have.
How many villages are on each resource.
Yeah.
Or doing different tasks. And you also see the resources slung and received, so you can easily compare, which players on which teams are slinging. There we are, sent versus received. Because
There's
previously that was not displayed anywhere. All sorts of new things happening just in this panel.
Okay, that's a lot. And we've also got the team totals in the middle, which is, of course, going to be really interesting to compare how the 2 teams are performing against each other.
Yep, that is unchanged from other CaptureAge. And then the mini-map is still, I think, unchanged. I think they've actually...
the same, I think.
They've added one thing, actually. There's this little eye at the bottom to tell you which point of view you're looking at, which is kind of useful. And I think if you press Alt-D, it'll show a rainbow.
Because that's everyone's point of view.
Everyone's point of view, exactly.
And the one player point of view there. I can't remember how to get rid of point of view. Alt F, that makes sense. Same as user patch, of course. And then on the right side, we have this stuff here, which previously you could see each individual player's sort of tally of units, right? And what was in queue. The queue has now moved up to the top left, so you can see who's got what in queue over here.
What units they're creating at any one time.
But then at the bottom right, you can see a kind of scale. And you can see that the team at the bottom, Suomi, they've got 41 villagers, whereas the Frantic team have 38. And you can see this sliding scale here and sort of like a bar chart representing who has what, which is awesome.
Yep, and then as they create new units, they will all start to stack up to the right-hand side, sorted by which unit is the most populous on the map. But if you are missing that old point of view, you can just click in the middle of that tab and go back to the old one.
back.
So you can easily switch between both to see, what information you need to see at any one time.
Man, this is incredible. And then on the right-hand side, of course, you've got this area here, which has always been there. Now it's just expanded a little bit, and it comes up with the player color, depending on who has what technology.
Yeah, just showing the important researches that can be done during the game.
It's amazing, and it's, in my opinion, like, it's too much information to digest all at once, but it definitely has tools in there to help you.
It takes a couple of games to get used to everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, it's hard enough casting a 3v3 or a 4v4 anyway, because there's always so much going on around the map. This is sort of like almost information overload. You've really got to decide what you want to look at and what's important at the time. But the point is, the information is there and it is available, and at some point it's going to become really useful.
Right. And you can even see when players are housed as well, by the way. We just
Flashing
saw,
here.
it just flashes a little bit to say, hey, I'm housed, notice me. I made a boo-boo.
Pay attention.
Yeah.
So the question is, though, are we going to be watching what's happening up here, or are we going to be watching these numbers down here? We'll have to see.
I think we would be concentrating on the game, and then chat. If they want to read the numbers, they can see the numbers.
Yeah,
I think that's the easiest way.
So houseboat. There it is, the map in all of its, glory, I suppose you could say. It's the home pick, or the home map of Team Suomi. And as you can see, it is 3v3, each player starting on a small little patch of land and having to use their transport ship to transport out to the edge.
Keep ferrying their villages. Ferry their villages from one side to the other to get them working, because there's so little resources on their tiny little island they start on.
Yeah. Team Suomi then, we've got the Max. He's playing up to the north of the map. In his pocket, it is Valessa playing in the green here. And actually, I didn't even look at his civ. He's playing as the Chinese. Valessa playing as the Britons in the green. And then on the right flank, Rubenstock playing in the grey as the Italians. Their opponents down to the south of the map in the yellow, Tim playing as the Italians. So Italian mirror on that right-hand side. In the pocket, Jalfan playing in the red as the Celts. And then on the left flank, Vivi playing in the blue as the Indians. So it is going to be basically pretty much non-mirrors, with the exception of the Italians being on both teams.
I think that makes the most sense. This is the only water map in the map pool. Italians are a water civ, and they have to use Italians because they are in the civ pool. So it's 100% makes sense. And then we see there's just this huge divergence in what civs each team thinks is the best to support them.
And in the case of Team Frantic, you've got Celts and Indians. In the team of Suomi, in the case of Suomi, you've got Chinese and Britons. 2 archer civs, by the way. Whereas Celts and Indians, you've kind of got the ability to go for great cavalry, infantry, and siege as well.
Right. And Italians can do archers already.
Yeah, exactly. So that's interesting. You've got a lot of overlap with the civs of Suomi here. But we've been talking so long about the game here, or not the game, but the UI rather, that we've not really looked so much at the game. We can already see on the left side shenanigans starting over here. Max dropping down a dock on his opponent's pond, and Vivi immediately scouts that and builds a tower there to try and deny these boats. But
and the tower
has a tower coming up,
hidden behind that dock.
I can't click on it, Robo. I cannot. It's there.
We know it's there. We'll see it in a moment.
There.
And there's more villagers coming in as well from Max. It's going incredibly aggressive here.
Yeah, kills the scout of Vivi. And Max, I don't think he can finish that tower, actually. No, he's actually going to have to bail on that. That tower not going to come up because, of course, one villager cannot outbuild 4. Unfortunate for him. On the right side, though, it looks like we've got the same from Rubenstock, even doing the tower in the same location, backing up his dock, and he'll find the transport ship.
It prevents his dock from ever getting killed, right? Because in feudal age, you're going to make lots of fire galleys, and your fire galleys don't want to sit underneath a tower. So that means he's essentially overly contesting the water, ensuring that he can't be denied from his aggression.
Yeah, that is true. And he's also managed to kill that transport ship, which is huge. Very important to be able to take that out. And in fact, you can see that 2 transport ships even have been taken out on the side of
Frantic.
I
think Vivi lost
his transport as well. Yeah, you're right. So they're going to lose their transport. That's really awkward because those villages that are now created are kind of stuck on the island with the TC. They can't get out to the edge, and obviously there's no resources. There's no good for them to be there at this point. So all 3 of the Suomi players coming forward here, building that dock, taking down the boats and the fishing economy on the Team Frantic's water.
Right, and we also see a little bit of a team war possibly starting to come up in the middle of the map near Xiaofan's base. I can imagine him continuing that wall all the way down to Tim's base and sort of preparing for a late game situation where they can try to get a boom on if they can defend from this early aggression.
Yeah, it's a very Chinese thing to do, get a nice early team wall going. It does look like Team Suomi at the moment has this sort of upper hand on the forward aggression. It looks to me as though they have all gone forward, even Valessa here, coming behind enemy lines to drop down 2 ranges.
Sneaky ranges.
And
right near the wood line.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have archers near on that wood line. He could even come in towards Vivi here as well. Vivi's pretty unprotected. Remember, he already built a tower, so he's not going to be having enough stone for another tower anytime soon.
That's true.
Oh my goodness, look at this. 8 villagers idling
just
the TC.
sitting there. Well, you know, it's doing some good being able to shoot the fire galleys when they come close, but once those 2 sheep that he has on that island run out, they're just going to sit there doing absolutely nothing. And I would assume at Tim's base,
it's similar. It's
Yeah.
four villagers in there.
and he doesn't even have sheep to eat, so they literally are just sitting there.
He's making a transport ship, though. It looks like he's going to make a run for it here. As the fire galleys come down toward the south, the transport can pop out here. He can load the villas in and get them out to the edge quickly. Might be able to juke Rubenstock out there a little bit. But Rubenstock may kill a villager out on the edge. He can deny the gold and stone gathering. It's pretty dangerous stuff for Tim at the moment. And it looks like Team Suomi came to this game with a game plan, and it's working out extremely well. Vivi trying to get a dock up on Max's side. That's being taken out, and it looks like
Tim's aggression against Rubenstock is also
It's
getting
also-
cleaned
yeah.
up
exactly.
fairly safely. But Vivi is up to Castle Age. Record time here for him, this player, but I'm not sure what he's going to go for. Is he going to go straight for camels, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, what else is he going to do, really? You want something that's a bit faster. We'll see. He's got a barracks coming up now. The problem is he's under a lot of pressure at the moment. He's been pushed off of this gold here. Max is still around with forward villagers to perhaps build more towers. And he is indeed going for a stable. But look, from the back, Valessa's in here as well with his archers. So it's going to be difficult for Vivi to secure resources. In fact, if you look, he doesn't have access to gold right now. The gold here is now denied. This one's denied. This one's denied. This one's about to be denied.
The forward market denying the gold.
Yeah, of course, right? And he's up to the next age. He can afford 2 camels, and that's it.
Nice.
That's probably not going to be all too good for him.
No. And we can see that he doesn't really have any upgrades either. He's only, like on the right-hand side, we see there's no blacksmith upgrades at all. So there's going to be unupgraded camels. Really not the sort of unit you want to see. But the Vills, they're making a break for it. They're legging it straight to the outside.
Looks like they're going to get out of there. And that's pretty good. But now it's like, Max, there's no villagers in the TC. Well, actually, I lied. There are still 6. But if there were no villagers in the TC, he'll just burn it with his fire galleys. And to be honest, he might even be able to get away with it anyway. Because it's actually going down pretty quickly.
If you could make a couple more fire
I
galleys,
actually
he could
think
actually
he could kill the
he
TC
could get it
here.
down.
I mean, the villagers are going to come in and repair, so maybe not, but
But also, look at this. This is so smart. He's pulling away
That's
the
so
injured
funny.
fire galleys and then repairing them and then sending them back into the fray.
it's just brilliant, isn't it?
Oh, that's beautiful.
So cool. I don't think he'll actually kill that, but you never know. On this right side, Tim still trying to hold on as well. He's got 3 idols in the TC. He did manage to get some out. And the team wall for Frantic is really coming up now. You can see it following it along here, coming down here. It looks like they're just going to let Vivi... They're going to
leave Vivi to himself.
Going to leave Vivi out to hang to dry here. And
Oh,
I
boy.
actually think he's going to kill that TC, you know. It looks like it genuinely is going down.
He just needs to spread the fire galleys around so he can get that villager on the backside that's repairing.
Right, exactly. I think he's killing it faster than it's being repaired still. And he's got more boats on the sidelines waiting to go back in. So, I mean, that's kind of cool. But, of course, Vivi's in the Castle Age now. He's already started making this next TC. And on the other side, he's going to go out and try and raid with some camels. But good luck doing that.
Defensive spearmen,
Basically,
defensive
no
towers.
upgrades. That's it. They're going to run to their deaths, right?
Absolutely. And he literally has no upgrades. He has +1 PS armor from the Indian bonus, and that is all. on his army at the moment. But we see the Max and Valese up to Castle Age. Xiaofan just hitting it as well. Vivi might have some problems, because I can imagine Max just going for like say, some crossbow play.
Yeah.
Or even Valese, right? He's already there with archers. He upgrades those to the crossbows. He can keep running around Vivi's base. Maybe even some mangonels or rams to siege down his new TCs, his buildings. He could have a hard time.
We already have a siege workshop coming out from Xiaofan though, so he could prepare quite quickly to deal with the crossbows. But it looks like these are, I mean, they're Briton archers, right? So he should have no problem out-microing a mangonel. It depends if there's more than one.
Oh,
but you
no.
saw there the villagers hopping out. That's it now. That TC can't even fire back.
Oh, there's one transport ship.
Oh, can they get the transport though? Oh, the transport! It's gonna go down! Oh,
He's
it's
gonna make
so close.
it 19 HP.
Oh, it's so close. Transport ship does die, but so will the TC.
That was actually pretty good. He only loses 2 villages. Like, he managed to save the majority of those in the nick of time there.
It could be so much worse, right? It
Yeah.
could be so much worse. Those 2 camels, by the way, doing absolutely nada on the other side of the map. He may very well kill a villager here, but I wouldn't count on it.
He has...
Oh, she died. Okay.
He gets 1 kill, but he is still 8 villages behind Max, his direct
Oh,
opponent.
yeah, for
so, not good for him at all.
Yeah, clicking off here, you can see Suomi ahead by a few villages, not by much, a few fishing ships as well, and way ahead on land army, 19 crossbow for Team Suomi now, and you can see him coming in here on Vivi, who's going to lose another 3 villages on the left-hand side, and it's really not going well for the player in blue this game.
Nope, nothing's going Vivi's way. Feels a little bad. And we also see Rubenstock is starting to get a bit of a sling going. He's stonewalling up his base, it seems.
He is,
walling
yeah.
up, starting to sling to his teammates to get them up, get them booming, get them up to the Imperial Age as quickly as possible.
Yeah, sling the max is always a nice strat, but we can actually see how much has been sent and received. You can see he's sent 1.4k resources over to the max already, and
I
Max-
believe that these numbers don't include the sling tax.
Oh, okay.
at the moment.
So he will have received a bit less.
A little bit
clearly.
less than that.
Oh, look at this. Crossbows coming in, finding more villager kills. And that is very good for Team Suomi again. They're really starting to run away with this at the moment. We'll go back to the main overview, and you can see that they're quite far ahead in population already, and that's looking to continue to grow at the moment here as well, as Max will be going up to the Imperial Age very soon, no doubt.
Yep, he's going to drop some TCs, probably get a little bit of boom going. Keep making a couple of camels to support Valese's crossbows, but mostly just leave him to his own devices to run around, get that raiding damage in.
Yeah, exactly. And they've already done so much damage onto Vivi. It looks like Valesa will respond with a mangonel of his own to deal with Xiaofan. Xiaofan, by the way, booming quite nicely here with the Celts. He's got up to 4 TCs if you include the starting one.
The thing is, he's sort of just leaving Vivi out to dry. Like, he has the highest fill count in the game, but Vivi also has the lowest fill count in the game. So, is it really worth it? I'm not sure at the moment.
And then also you've got to consider Celts, which, they're a powerful civ, but they're not exactly the fastest civ to get going. It's not like you can just suddenly, reach imp and start winning the game. You have to get techs, you have to have some kind of support as well. If you're going for, let's say, Siege and Haub, then that's great, but that takes a long time to upgrade and get ready to go. And meanwhile, you're already under a little bit of pressure now, as they've sort of finished toying with Vivi and started casting their attention to a more threatening player.
And is he going to get this 2-for-1 trade with
Like
the
he
mangonel?
will, at the moment.
Well, I
I
think-
don't know. Oh, big shot
Oh,
here.
wow. Oh, and another
A
one.
lapse of concentration from
Oh.
Valesa.
The 2 camels are going to come clean it up, but wow, that was
It's a big swing.
8 or 9 crossbows just going down right there.
It's pretty huge. Yeah, I mean, there were more crossbows than any other unit in the game, and now they're firmly in 3rd place with 6. Yeah, they did go down a bit too quickly there, but I guess that's what happens. One sort of second that you look away, and before you know it, you're in trouble.
Yeah, but back at home, I think Valese is dropping 2 more TCs.
Yeah, he's got the one here, he's got one
that's
at the
one for
back,
Max
and
and one
then
for himself.
one here, and then, of course, this one which he's now deleted.
He's decided, I've had enough of transporting these villages. That requires too much micro time. Just gonna move on. Get rid of it. Finished.
Exactly. So Max is really booming up hard here. Another... Hello? Why did it go black?
I don't know.
I just clicked on the TC and everything disappeared.
That was strange.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. But anyway, it actually looks like he's going to continue to add more TCs, continue to build. He's got one over here as well, Robo.
Oh, man.
He's just TCs everywhere. And Max, it seems, will be going up to Imperial soon. He's nearly got the resources. But
Touch more
Xiaofan
gold.
will beat him to it. And he's dropping a castle in the middle of the map, which might just get denied by 3 spearmen. Are you,
The one
What is
villager
this?
forward castle.
what is this? Explain yourself. Okay, he's walling himself in. Xiaofan's... Oh my god, are you kidding me?
And there's 2 knights coming in now.
They won't kill the wall fast enough, but that's just stupid. Like, I mean, at this rate, Valesa
Could
could
walk
have
a
enough
crossbow.
time to come and build an archery range here and train an archer to kill that villager.
Or just walk over there and build a watchtower.
Anything.
He has so many options to deny that castle if he wants to.
He's building another one at home. Insurance castle at home, obviously.
And he has enough stone for a 3rd castle as well.
Well, it looks like he'll be going for Woad Raiders then, maybe trying to get some raiding damage done to equalize the villager counts. You can see that Suomi are about 12 ahead at the moment, and of course have additional fishing ships as well. But
I'm a little worried for Vivi here because
Yeah.
Max is hitting castle. That looks like a forward castle
that
in
is-
his face. So he's going to kill off this small little eco that Vivi has. And I assume
Look at
Vivi's...
Vivi.
Is Vivi slinging at the moment? I assume he is.
no, he doesn't look like he is actually.
No.
He's not sent anything.
Tim's the one doing the slinging.
Tim did sling out to Xiaofan. It looks like both Tim and Rubenstock quite happy to go and just sling on the right-hand side. Have a little bit of truce out here. There's not a lot happening over on
Tons
that
of
side.
interlocking walls all over the place.
Yeah, exactly right. Sort of agreeing to peace out on the west side of the map. But yes, obviously that castle is up, and the TC from Vivi is starting to go down. And Valesa's found him down here as well.
Oh, no.
Oh. Wow, Valesa's like, I will just build this TC in the corner of the map. They'll never find me here. They'll never suspect a thing behind all the trees. But no, Valesa, like a bloodhound, smells the blood.
Smells him down, hunts him
and,
down,
hunts him down,
finds
yeah.
him wherever he goes.
Exactly.
And I'm
He
not...
got the castle up in the middle though. Like, that's just so wrong. Xiaofan actually gets that castle up, and I feel like that is a blunder from Suomi. Capped Ram now done. We're going to see a lot of Woad Raiders coming out because there are 2 castles now and maybe a 3rd castle to follow. Yeah, there it is, in fact, right there.
But is attacking Valesa really the best play here? Do you not maybe want to go try to fight the Max?
Well, this is the thing, right? Does Xiaofan kill Valesa faster than Max kills Vivi? Probably not.
Probably not, because Valesa has double the villages of Vivi almost.
Yeah.
So you have to kill twice as much to really take him out of the game. And we see here Max is able to do both. He doesn't need a lot of military to fight Vivi, because
No.
Vivi has nothing. You know, a couple of mangonels and a couple of knights, he's fine there, and he can concentrate on defending Valesa as he goes to Imperial Age, as we're seeing.
Yeah, he's going to have Cavalier in a minute as well, which is pretty good against these unupgraded Woad Raiders. They've got +1 attack, +2 defense, but they don't have the elite upgrade yet. So Cavalier's going to be quite good there. And of course, this castle will go up, but you won't have murder holes, so he could just keep attacking it with the Cavalier even. Maybe eventually bringing it down.
And then get some trebs
There
coming
is a
down.
trap
There we
coming
are.
as well, yeah. Meanwhile, Valesa adding more ranges.
And that's going to be
going
like a
arbalest.
perfect combination there. We're going to have Cavalier and Longbows versus Helms and Woes. So they both counter everything so well between the 2 players.
Yeah, they do. On top of that, Trebs to take down the buildings. And there's not even a huge amount of Woads out. I mean, there are 18 Woad Raiders, but there's 15 Cavalier and 8 crossbows. So the army size is better for Team Suomi at the moment. You can see that represented here as well on the overlay.
And just the fact that their army is so much better. Like a Cavalier has 140 HP, a Woad Raider has, 60 or 70.
And
And
you
all.
can see as well, look at this. Vivi is going to be defeated at this
He's
rate.
getting bullied everywhere. Has he got any villages safe?
I don't think so.
Oh, there's 2 villages just there.
Oh,
Just to the left a little bit. There's 2 sitting next to those houses on the left-hand side of the screen.
oh yeah, I see them.
They can
Wait.
maybe run into Xiaofan's base.
Yeah, maybe. It's an option. Xiaofan kind of cleaning this out with the Cap Rams, and he's trying to clean up at the back as well by sending some Woad Raiders out. But Vivi is going to lose this TC if he's not careful, and I mean the other TC's gone as well. So
I don't think he's worried. He can't really do anything to save it either.
No.
It's just sort of the TC's there and then it's dead. And, oh well.
Yeah, and here you go now. Xiaofan, he's lost his castle on the front to those trebs, and he's gone into Halb now, which is obviously expected by the co-op player, but Halbs are just going to melt to these soon-to-be Arbalest. We've got Bracer coming in already for the Britain player, and of course we'll see Arbalest upgraded when he can afford it. But yeah, I mean, it's just a difficult combo, I think, at this point, and maybe the only thing that can redeem Xiaofan here is a good amount of siege.
He does have one nice thing going for him. He's sort of attacking to the right of this, and all of their army is stuck behind that stone wall.
To the left, yeah.
So at the moment, he might have a chance to get in there and deal some damage to Bellese or Rubenstock before this army can get through these walls. Maybe, if he has enough time.
Possibly, yes. And he's continuing to push forward as well. Another castle here, and with the cat rams coming onto the houses, he might just make it in.
I think you can just walk right past those houses. I think
the hole here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right, actually. But he'll take them down anyway. You never know. Valessa might get housed. He will actually get housed.
He will, but killing some vills would be better.
Oh, it's
110 out of 100.
111 out of 110. It's not flashing. Why is it not flashing? There it is. Now it's flashing. He's tried to queue something up. So that's kind of cool for Xiaofan, but I'm more concerned about Vivi. Vivi's down to 15 villagers.
Right,
That's all he's got.
And he's about to lose another 6 or 7 here.
That's everything. Yeah, they're all going to die out here.
And he has a couple in the bottom of Xiaofan's base, I think, and that's it, really.
He's escaped with 7 vills.
Look at how much wood he has. He has 1,600 wood, but nothing else.
You could build a market and send it to Xiaofan.
oh no. Tim just slung him a little bit of stone so he can build a TC.
Hey, there you go. There we go. Frantic's on the way back. But yeah, I mean, Xiaofan, to be fair, doing a good job. He's getting in there with the Woad Raiders and the Cap Rams, but he's not doing enough long-term damage, in my opinion. He might kill this TC. It's unlikely. The Cavalier are there.
But if you kill a TC, it's not the end of the world, right?
No.
When you've already got 3 or 4 TCs, you lose one, it's okay. You just keep booming from the other ones. And like Max is just like monster at the moment. He's almost at 200 pop. He has double the military of Xiaofan, and the majority of his military is, I think, going to be stronger in general. It looks like he's even switching into Condotieros.
Oh, really?
What I saw a second ago.
He is queuing them. He's got 13 Condotiero in queue. That's an interesting choice.
It'll go pretty well against the Helbs.
Yeah, it will perform well against the Helbs for sure. I mean, they're not going to be anything special. They're just Chinese, right? But at the end of the day, if it counters the Halb, then that's easily done. At the moment, he's just using Cavalier, right?
Which is not ideal against the Halberdiers.
Yeah. If you have
already setting up trade as well here.
Yeah, they're getting that trade going. Where are trade carts shown on this?
The fishing ships will be replaced by trade carts once there's more trade carts than fishing ships.
Okay, well, they only have 3 at the moment in total, so I don't think that's going to happen for a few minutes yet.
It shows the 2 most common eco units on that graph.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, most of the time that's going to be villagers and trade, but...
In the early game, fish, and then switch to trade later on water maps. Exactly.
For sure.
Possibly even trade cogs if they happen to be created, I guess.
Yeah, once in a blue moon. I've seen it a couple of times in ECL, actually. We did see trade cogs.
That was always a nice little funny thing.
That did it, actually,
yeah.
I think. But no room for trade cogs in this one, unfortunately. But yeah, there's 1 villager from Vivi up here, and there's...
Just the TC.
Just the ones down here now who are trying
more
to build
TCs.
up.
Oh boy. He's on 13 vills. He's going to reboom. Don't worry, guys. He'll be back. He will be back.
Vivi turning into Arnold Schwarzenegger there. just for 1 game.
Yep.
But yeah, it's looking very unlikely for Frantic to be able to pull this back. Xiaofan really the last hope. Tim's still in the castle age, of course, slinging for now. And Rubenstock going up to castle, but still continuing to sling. We can even see how much has been sent. And you can see that Rubenstock has actually sent more resources to Max than Tim has sent to his teammates. Even though Tim is full-time slinging here. So that's just not an effective sling, if you ask me.
Well, it's sort of... He went for like a castle sling, so he tried to boom first before he started slinging. So long-term, his sling will be better.
Right,
but in the short...
It doesn't matter now.
It doesn't matter when one of your players is already dead. That's true.
Exactly. So they probably just played a little bit too slowly. Their momentum wasn't really there. And obviously, they couldn't counter this this very fast push from Team Suomi.
I'm loving this though. They've just slung Vivi to Imperial Age while he has 20 villagers.
Oh yeah,
20 villager imp.
look at that.
Oh my god,
That's so funny.
this is ridiculous.
What's he gonna do when he gets there? Make bombard cannons?
I don't know.
I don't think he'll get there. It'll be over before he gets there, right?
Like
surely.
you'd think, okay,
Look at this. Look at this.
he'll make camels to counter the Cavaliers and then just get destroyed by Valesse's huge army of Arbs.
Exactly. There's 44 Condottieri, 41 Arbalest, and the only military on the field for the Frantic team is 30 Halberdier. That's all they have right now. 30 Halbs between them and defeat. And
Honors are cutting through the forest as well.
I mean, it's over. It's well and truly over. GG being called there by Xiaofan. He knows it. He's the only one fighting for it at the moment. And he knows he can't beat that. So GG is being called. Xiaofan out. Tim and Vivi to follow. But where did it all go wrong for Team Frantic in that game? Well, I think they just weren't expecting such an early aggression from Suomi. All three Suomi players coming forward, docking their opponent's ponds and killing those transport ships really early as well. Definitely hurt their early economy and early expansion out to the edge of the houseboat. We saw at one point, I think, like 8 villas trapped in this TC. We saw 4 or 5 trapped in here from Tim, and they just lost their momentum at that point.
Yeah, just Suomi had a much more aggressive game plan. Like, we saw Frantic also trying to make some aggressive plays. Like, we saw the 4 docks from Vivi at the same time, also from Tim.
They tried it.
But I feel like the Suomi had a better plan for how to do it. Like, both players instantly went for a tower to defend their dock, which is so key in making sure that you don't lose that aggressive push. Whereas we saw the other ones, like Tim, he killed a little bit of Rubenstock, Vivi killed a little bit of Max, but then they got cleaned up in the end.
Yeah, they lost the docks as well. Yeah. Then they were able to fish. They were able to take the fish advantage. They were able to transport the villagers out with no problems. And all in all, Suomi then had that sort of eco lead from the early game, and maybe that's what sort of allowed them to snowball it. But very nice from Valesse as well to come back here and make those archers.
So the sort of sneaky ranges behind the enemy base.
Yeah, and Xiaofan essentially just left Vivi out to dry. I mean, he was 2v1 at one point, and Xiaofan had walled him out. So he was like, good luck with that, buddy.
Well, really, like, what would you do with the Celts against camels and crossbows?
Make some siege, but that's it.
Like, you can't really effectively fight off camels and British crossbows with, a couple of mangonels.
No, well, ideally what you need is a team wall earlier.
Right.
They weren't able to get that into position.
Unfortunately
not. So they just sort of cut Vivi out of the deal. Feels bad, man.
Feels Vivi, man. Absolutely destroyed.
All right. Well, there we go. Let's go into our next game. We have Fortress coming up next. I'm not going to lie. It's really sort of difficult for me to get used to Capture Age so quickly. It's going to take some time, especially the 3v3 version.
Yeah, it definitely takes a number of games to really get used to all the features, and just the fact that you need to look around the place to see where all the information is. But I think once you get there, it's such an amazing viewing experience.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely going to be better. Did they make the health bars by default green now?
No, but it remembers your setting from the previous game.
I think they were green in that game, right?
Yeah, so before the stream started, I turned them to green, and ideally it'll continue to remember that through each of the games.
Are the LAN finals confirmed between Secret and AM? Yes, they are, Hankira. That is correct. Thank you, by the way, earlier on. We didn't shout this out to a random person. Pete, Boswung, and Blaine Young for the resubs. Really appreciate that. He said, Viper's sub now belongs to you. Keep up the good work, guys. Well, thank you.
Yep. Boswung, by the way, one of the devs for Capture Age.
Indeed.
Supporting us as they supported us already with Capture Age. Awesome people that they are.
Yes.
But we'll be going into Regicide Fortress next.
Yeah, Regicide Fortress should be kind of crazy. I mean, obviously, action starting in the Castle Age. So it's quite a quick start. Normally, it's sort of like, 9-minute castle times?
Yeah, 9-10 minutes, something like that is what you see. Possibly
Mhm.
some sort of sling strats can happen.
Yeah, when you start with walls, you don't even have to worry about walling up to sling.
your sling,
You
exactly.
Just do it.
Just get in there. Sling mines to Imperial Age, or sling Spanish for tons of conquistadors, or something along
Yeah.
those lines.
This stream
Definitely a possibility.
is sponsored by Nike. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just sling it. Just sling it. We've got an AoE sling in the
Emote list.
emote list, but no one uses it. I don't think it's not good enough. You know.
It's maybe because we don't see enough slinging.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah,
We
I think
don't see
that
enough
might be
slinging,
enough.
do we? Obviously not. Right. Anyway, we're gonna go into our next game. Let me just get capture age up, and we're in. Welcome back, everybody. Game number 2 between Team Frantic and Team Suomi. It is 1-0 to Suomi in a best of 3. The winner obviously goes on. The loser is eliminated, and they'll be eliminated for the last time as well because this is the last event. So
It is the final event.
Suomi or Frantic lose here, that's it. They'll be done, and that's their ECL career over.
Maybe we'll see them back if there is ever an ECL2. Maybe.
ECL2 with a lot of changes.
Yeah, a lot of changes.
Yes. Anyway, let's go around and introduce the teams. We'll start with Team Frantic because that's kind of where I've landed here. Tim in the yellow, playing as the Mayans on the flank. Vivi, purple pocket, playing as the Spanish. And
Ruben Stock, his enemy.
I'm confused. No, my bad. Vivi is the flank, purple Spanish. Tim is the pocket, yellow Mayans. And Xiaofan is the red Berber flank.
Interesting tips. I quite like them. They've all got fairly strong castle unique units. So they've all got that, just straight castle, make some units, do some raiding possibility.
Yeah.
It's definitely in there. Pretty good civs. I like that. I like that combination. You've got a mix of archers and cav civs. They've all got decent siege.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Mayans are always a popular choice on this map. I feel like Berbers have really... I remember the first time we did an African Kingdoms event, and Regicide Fortress was in the pool, and Berbers were a very popular pick on this on this map. And of course Spanish also very solid. But instead of Berbers, on the other side, Ruben Stock here going to be playing as the Vikings, which is probably the most popular pick from the 1v1 stage on this map.
Because you always had to pick out of the civ pool.
Yeah, and this is now being translated into the 3v3s.
Where you still have to pick 2 civs out of your 3 civs from the pool. So we saw Berbers and Spanish for Frantic, and here we're going to see Vikings and Spanish.
Yeah, and it's going to be the Vikings on the flank. The Max in the pocket, how does he do it every time?
Just
the
max
Spanish?
hacks.
Max hacks, yeah. And then on the left flank, Valessa in the green, he's playing as the Mayans there. So you've got Mayans on the flank for Suomi, and Mayans in the pocket for Frantic here.
I don't think that's too bad, because I assume with the Viking pick, we're going to see some slinging for Rubenstock. I think that's quite likely.
It's possible, right?
That
Viking eco is so strong, and it's a massive boost. So sling the mines, no problem.
If he's in the flank, he's closer to the enemy. He can
Yeah.
start attacking faster with that sling boosting his economy. So
Yeah,
I could see it working out pretty well for Suomi here.
yeah, it's decent, isn't it? And so Valessa then may very well start a very quick all-out aggression onto Xiaofan. And Berbers, well, they're not really going to be pulling ahead of that, are they? I mean, I don't see what they'll be able to do against that particularly well. I mean, they could pull out the janitors, but they're not very good, really.
It's not like your ideal unit composition, and you have to spend all that wood making the archery ranges to begin with.
Yep. It's kind of awkward. And unless we see a sling over to him, then he may have a hard time holding.
No, but I guess Tim would probably have to come help him out, but Tim
Yeah.
presumably is not going to get slung. So it's going to
Assuming,
be, slung mines versus non-slung mines, but supported by some camel archers. Or I guess maybe some knights and camels.
Yeah, I mean, he could go for Cavalier or something, right? But still, I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see. Keep in mind, it's also Regicide Fortress, so there is kings.
Oh, yeah.
There are kings.
King snipes could happen.
We've seen
That's
that
true.
before. Go nearly.
Oh, yeah.
That was cool, actually, in the 1v1s. If you missed it,
Make sure
shame
you
on
check
you.
it out. Nearly
Missed
versus
out.
Gibbertong in the round of 16. a huge come-from-behind victory. Spoilers.
Yeah,
Nearly
that was great.
snipes the king and somehow manages to win a game when he was so incredibly far behind.
Yeah, it was very cool. Very cool indeed. And then he went on to play against Jordan 23, I think.
Nikov.
Yeah, Nikov. And then lost.
And then got kind of destroyed by Nikov.
But that was expected.
Sad.
That was expected. Still cool to get past Gibaton though and score his team some points, a victory.
Earning a point for himself. That was his goal for ECL. He said, I want to earn 1 point for my team.
He did it.
And he did it. He got the 1 point.
It's amazing what you can do when you set your mind to something and have a goal.
And set
in mind.
achievable goals.
Yeah. MK Scorp in the chat's mentioning the castle positions, and that's a good point. We can talk about that. That's also something that's really well highlighted on the minimap. You can see where the castles are.
In relation to the TC.
Exactly. And you can see clearly here Tim's castle way in the back, and the same for Xiaofan as well, which means that if they are pressured from the front, it will be harder to defend in theory. But if the mines are being slung anyway, you're going to have trebs on you. You're not really going to be wanting your castle out on the front to get treb down. So having it in the back can be a benefit as well, because it gives you a bit more time to produce units or counter trebs,
I think,
in defense.
in general, I think having it on the front is probably better, because if you're against someone who's being slung, you can't possibly beat them, right? You just need to stall for as long as possible for your other two players to get ahead. And so if there's a castle in the front and you sit there repairing it for 5 minutes while those trebs are bashing away at it,
That's true.
that buys a ton of time for your team. Right, and maybe if there's a castle aggression coming in with mangonels, well, they can't get past the castle at all.
Yeah.
So I think it's generally better to have your castle on the front.
Generally speaking, yes, I think so. But as Pete's saying in the chat as well, it sort of depends on how much you're relying on that castle for military production and such. But in case of a treb war, you definitely want to keep it up regardless to get your own trebs out and try and equalize the treb war, unless you're going for something like bombard cannons or something like that. But it looks like Rubenstock, I was interested to see this, going up to 3 TCs immediately. It doesn't mean he won't sling, but it does mean that he's going to be building out economy as well here.
Right, and I think a castle thing is a fairly safe play to make.
Yeah.
Because, like, as the Vikings, you get free wheelbarrow, free handcart, which is awesome. And then once you got that eco rolling, it's just self-sustaining. You keep your 3 Ts pumping bills, and you start slinging it, all the excess. And yes, it's a slightly slower sling, but it's Regicide Fortress, right? Everybody can afford to start 3 TC booming basically instantly.
It's going to be slower anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not less necessary to sling, 500 resources now versus 1,000 in 2 minutes' time.
Yeah, exactly. We can see actually as well, when we click here, we actually get like a military mini-map. We can see military units. So we can easily spot these tiny moving dots and see that, yes, they are 5 plumed archers from Valessa and 5 plumed archers from Tim. You can also see, of course, on the right side, the composition of these players and teams. In fact, it's actually very close right now. Both of the Spanish players making conquistadors, both of the Mayan players making plumed archers, and it seems like the Viking player and the Berber player, neither of them really doing any military at the moment.
They're both just booming away, it seems.
Yeah. Although the Berber player could make camel archers, it's not like it's a terrible decision.
No, of course not.
But
It's just a little bit of a pricey unit
Yeah, exactly.
for what you get in early Castle Age. That's the problem. So I assume he's going to boom a little bit and then maybe start making the camel archers, or as you said earlier, switching to genitors or even knights could be a possibility.
Yeah, for sure. We're seeing a little bit of a villager trade on both sides, it seems. Tim going to leave us one there. And we saw, of course, one going down in the wood line of Rubenstock as well. But Rubenstock's going for a monastery right now, which, sort of implies that he's going to play a little bit more defensively, perhaps start slinging soon. At the moment...
No sling at all yet.
I'd like it. I know Sir Lawrence is in the chat. I don't know if he's maybe still there.
I think he said he's gone to bed, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd like it if you could right-click here to go back. Because at the moment, if I...
There are still the hotkeys.
Right,
to go
but
through.
if I click on the left click, it cycles through, but I can't cycle backwards by right-clicking.
True.
It would be cool to be able to go back so I don't have to click all the way through again. But there you go, Nbrain's in the chat, another one of the developers on the project. So thank you for noting that. So it looks like game over, which is the game is not over.
No, it's not over. There was just a drop in the game. That happens sometimes.
Max saw the 4 conquistadors from Vivi and said, "That's it, guys. There's no way we're holding on to this.
They're gonna kill that palisade wall and
I'm
GG.
dead." No, the game dropped, like you say, so we'll be resuming in a second. Looks like a couple of vills died here as well, actually, for Velese. So both teams losing a couple of vills.
The KD
Trading
is fairly equal, though.
Mm.
If we look at it, it's 5-4 to 4-6. It's almost the same.
Yeah, and I think that's really minor at this point in the game. So what we'll do is we'll back out real quick and load up the second part, because this game has 2 parts to it, as is usually the case when the game drops. And we are resuming. Welcome back, everybody. It's almost like there wasn't a drop at all. And speaking about that palisade going down, it may very well go down, but oh, that was close.
Well,
He's still going down.
Yeah,
It's still
it
going
instantly
down.
gets taken down. And Tim's coming over as well. Possibly going to dive in here for a little bit of a double.
Double trouble.
But there's a castle, there's TCs, there's towers all around the place. I don't think they're going to get a lot of damage potential.
Yeah, this place is really well defended. They won't find anything in there.
Imagine
Max could
goes over there, re-walls it.
Yeah, he's got a villager inside. He could have done it, but missed his opportunity, I think. Looks like they'll back out now, recognizing that, yeah, we shouldn't be in here for too long. Don't want to risk it for a chocolate biscuit.
I don't know. I think I would risk it for a chocolate biscuit. Chocolate biscuits are nice.
You know what? I've not had a chocolate biscuit in far too long. I might have to go and get myself some chocolate biscuits today.
After work, that'd be pretty good.
Oh, boy. Chocolate digestives. Dunked in a nice cup of tea. Robo, you wouldn't appreciate that
Nah.
because you don't drink tea.
Don't drink the tea, I'm sorry.
Such a
Such a
strange
heathen.
person. Doesn't drink tea. What is wrong with you?
I'm sorry. But okay, Rubenstock has started the sling. He's just on 77 food to Velese.
There it is. You can see in total now already sending 670 resources out. And it's Velese receiving it as we expected, as we anticipated.
Yeah, sling the mines. Not an uncommon strategy in Age of Empires.
Sling the Mayans?
Woohoo!
Really? Didn't see that one coming. And in
Not
fact,
at all.
you can already see he's pulling way ahead in Plumed Archer count. You can see Tim has actually stopped Plumed Archer production altogether.
I think he lost quite a few numbers at some point. He's got a very bad
Actually,
KD.
you're right. He must have done. Where did he lose them? Oh, jeez. Where did that happen?
They ran around somewhere, and I'm guessing Max must have killed them.
This is such a problem with big team games. You just can't see everything. You're guaranteed to miss something.
They've gone somewhere, and then they've lost them, and now Tim has decided, okay, well, I'm so far behind in numbers, I'm not going to...
Here. Looks like he lost some here.
Gotcha. That's it.
It looks like Conquistadors.
Good conk
CSI
CSI Zach here.
Empires here. I mean, it's same as last time, isn't it? We can conclude this Conquistador killed some plumes. But as I was sort of alluding to before, the Plumed Archer numbers really starting to increase for Velese now because that sling's coming in. And of course, the Imperial Age won't be far behind for him either. You can see already.
He's stacking them up.
Yeah.
He's getting close. He only needs another 300 food, 150 gold, and he's there.
Exactly. And if he comes to clash with Tim, he is going to absolutely destroy him. Tim does have an extra 1 attack and range from Bodkin Arrow. Velese doesn't have that yet, but he does have so many more numbers on his side.
That's it. Okay, but he needs to not sit there and attack the towers. He needs to find villagers or plumed archers to fight.
Looks like he'll get back for now. He'll be fine. Max might link up with him with the Conquistador, though. You never know. And
Maybe.
together, as one, they will combine like a Yu-Gi-Oh combo. And
That's what Suomi does, though, right?
Yeah.
They are a high...
Max is the arm, Velese is the other arm, Rubenstock's the body and head.
I think Rubenstock's probably the head, right? Because he's
Yeah.
sitting there slinging them. He doesn't have a lot to do. He's probably, watching the map, using cartography to see what's happening out there on the map and telling the team, what to do.
Yeah, exactly. Whoops.
Oops, that's the wrong button.
Yeah. So
That's a petard.
that is a petard. There's 2
Oh.
petards, in fact.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go.
In he goes. Vivi. What's he got in defense?
A bunch of
A
TCs.
very juicy economy.
There's a lot of TCs, though. He can get a couple of the farmers maybe near the mills.
What he needs is, as quickly as possible, to get those beefy Spanish villagers out
Oh.
and fend this off with villagers at arms.
And he is up to Imperial Age, as is Tim. So we're actually going to see
Yeah, that's true.
possibly Frantic being ahead here, because
2 players in Imp versus 1.
yeah, Valesse's Imp is not that much better than Tim's, and then Vivi is possibly ahead of Max here. He has more vills, he's got more military on the field, and he's up to Imperial Age. But Max trying to level out the villager numbers here, getting quite a few kills, idling a lot of eco here. Look at them just diving onto these TCs to pick off anything they can find.
Yeah, it does look like Vivi always gets the hard bargain here. You know, you just take one for the team. Take a bullet, quite literally, for the team again, Vivi. And don't worry about it. We'll sort it out. Big Zhao Fan and big Tim going to save the day. But unfortunately, this just comes at an awkward time for Vivi, right? Like, he's just going up to Imp and then this happens.
Right, and look at his KD, 7-21.
Yeah. I accidentally clicked it. Now I got to go through again. It's fine.
And actually, we saw there that Zhao Fan has started slinging as well.
Oh, look at this, though. This is huge.
Oh, no.
Valesse, with the 25 plumed archers against 12, denies the castle of Tim.
It looks
Now
like
he's got
killed some
that
plumed archers as well.
Yeah, that's very difficult to deal with now. Valesse at full strength soon. He's already got upgrades coming in now. Imperial Age upgrades. Bracer done. Chemistry on the way.
And another castle.
And that's it. Treb out. Ram out.
Zhao Fan, he doesn't have fortified wall. I think that's a little risky if you're the slinging player to not have fortified wall. Like, these trebs and rams, they're just going to bust in so quickly. And then
interestingly, they both sent the same and received about the same resources here. So it should be even, quote unquote, but it does seem as though Valesse is slightly ahead because he's just had more efficient trades so far this game.
It has to be something like that. But oh, we're seeing a switch into Cavalier here from Vivi. And Max is only just clicking up to Imperial Age. I wonder how this is going to go. I think he's still in a good position here, because like Rubenstock's monks here,
yeah, they're
just to support him out and maybe get some converts, even just healing up the conquistadors after they run in. And Vivi, you know, he's got 22 idle villagers at the moment. Not what you want to see from your Imperial Age player who should be, you know, carrying that side of the map.
Yeah, exactly. And at the moment, the Team Suomi kind of pulling ahead in villages again. They were behind for a while. But that fortified wall for Zhao Fan does come in, so he buys himself a bit more time. There is a weak point here with the houses. I'd be going straight for that if I were Valesse, but maybe he's not scouted it or something. I don't know. The Ram is attacking the wall regardless. He'll be through eventually because there's no way he could build behind this. Now the plumes are in position, and Valesse just waiting at the moment to get through there and see what he can do.
But it looks like there might be a fight happening on the right-hand side.
On the right side, you're right, yes. Cavalier running in now. Looks like the monks have been taken out.
But I think Max is just going to keep microing, running home, microing, you know, picking up 1 or 2 Cavaliers, but he is being forced out of Vivi's base. Oh, except for those 3 there on the left. Mostly forced out of his base.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is here as well, like, these can actually deal with Cavalier. Like, look at that.
Look at the one-shotting Cavalier.
Cavalier, you what, mate?
Come at me, man.
You what? Not scared of you. But, yeah, on the left side, really, Tim here has to stick it to Valesse, because without Tim interfering in this, Valesse will make it through into Zhao Fan's base and cause havoc, and he's already in now, actually. So Tim just too little too late. It looks like Valesse is going to be in no time.
Oh, and by the way, Rubenstock is fully walling the middle of the map, setting up that huge team wall so that there is safe trade for later in the game. Doing his bit, even though he's slinging, he is still out there on the map, being a nuisance, helping out wherever he can.
That's a massive wall. USA could learn a thing or two from that one. Look at that. Goes from east to west.
Are you suggesting that Donald hires Rubenstock to build the wall?
I'm saying they outsourced that to Rubenstock, yes.
Okay. I can get behind that.
I get behind that.
Yeah.
Any support we can get for the Age of Empires community, that's what we're all about.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Frantic, though, as Elvinor quite astutely recognizes, are getting wrecked, Robo.
They're getting wrecked.
They're getting wrecked. I think that's the technical term for what is happening here.
Yeah, they're having a hard time. But Tim is actually ahead in plumed archer numbers now.
Oh,
and
he is,
this
yeah.
Cavalier swing, there's a couple Cavaliers here from Vivi. This is going to clean up the Rams, and maybe Tim can push back on this side.
Yeah, they absolutely do have the military advantage at the moment. Obviously 48 versus 30 plumes, 15 cavalier versus 26 knights. Those knights are about to become cavalier, and that should swing things back towards Suomi's favour. Can Frantic get it together now that their slinging player is basically having his base gutted? It's going to be tough, right?
And
the sling difference is going to start to go in favour of Suomi. Up till now, it's even. But when you lose all your eco, Xiaofan is not going to be able to sling as much.
Right, and Rubenstock has 30 extra. No, he's more than that now. He has 50 more villages than Xiaofan does. So his sling over time is just going to keep multiplying bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And he's also setting up trade already. As we mentioned, there's the full walls coming through the middle of the map, so trade can't be raided. And so he's just in a really dominating position at the moment.
Yeah, they are, as they were last game as well. It does look very good for them. This castle full of vills, not debated into leaving a king in there by mistake. The king probably escaping out.
I would
back.
assume it's in Tim's base somewhere, I think.
Oh, it's in this tower, isn't it? No, that's
I think
villages.
Control K should take you to the king.
Control K for king. Oh,
For
that's
whichever
Max's
player we're
king.
looking at.
All right, let's take a look at this player here. Whoa.
You need to click on one of his buildings to go to
Yeah,
his
hang
point
on
of
a
view.
hot second here. Can't I click here? Yeah, I can. All right,
Ah.
Control K. Ah, there it is. Two kings having brunch in a tower together.
You take down that one tower, you can kill 2 players at once.
It's kind of like the intro to AoE 2 with the two kings playing chess, only this time they're on the same side.
Right, I guess that works.
But they're still dying. Anyway, it's looking like Tim's prepared a pretty solid ram rush here, though.
Oh, but and look at the plume numbers. 77 plumes to 39 at the moment.
That's solid. Vivi's about to finish Paladin, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Where's Max's Paladins? Doesn't have him yet.
Not on the way, but Max is at 200 pop.
That's true.
Vivi's only at 150, so he's got,
Got some way to go yet.
and
What about
actually,
Vivi, though?
Max already has Paladin, it seems.
Oh, he does?
Just not
Am I
sure where they are.
Oh, he does. You're right.
They're just elsewhere.
Of course Max has Paladin. He's playing in the colour teal.
Teal
and he's
Paladins
the pocket
from
player.
Max?
Like, how has he not got
Ah.
Paladin already? It's literally impossible for him not to have it. But Tim, yeah, is looking quite a threat. Obviously, a lot of siege rams here, taking out those castles from Velese very, very quickly on the front side. And now, wow, look at this. He's got like 13 rams. That's insane. Take a quick look at this fight, though. I don't see how Max wins that, to be honest.
No, I think at the moment he's just sort of trying to stall a little bit.
Reinforcements coming in,
But he
though.
knows that at the moment, Frantic doesn't have any trade. Because he is in the top corner of the map, raiding with a couple of Paladin.
Oh, yeah. Good
Or
catch.
Conquistores, actually. So he's going to start to pick off these few
Great
trade
catch.
cards as they get created. And we see Rubenstock going up to Imperial Age. So he is about to join this game. Rubenstock probably going to go for maybe Berserks, Rams, Arbalest, something along those lines.
Zerks could be interesting. They'll obviously deal quite well with Paladins, but there's a lot of plumes out, so maybe Arbs and Rams could be the
Or
play
maybe
as
both,
well.
Arbs and Berserks.
Depends
He's
how
got a
much-
monster eco.
Depends how much eco he can afford, I guess. But yeah, Max here just throwing all of his Paladins in to try and stall this out, and he's done a good job, but the castles have fallen. And it looks like, Xiaofan might be able to get the front of his base back, but
Right.
the damage is already done, It's
is.
almost a little bit too late at this point.
The thing though, Velese, I think they only got the one castle at the moment.
Oh, you're right.
I think he's building a second one just to the left a little bit. So he's going to be really far behind the plume numbers, and he's not going to catch up anytime soon. So Frantic, they still have chances in this game.
Yeah, there's still a chance. Max, though, now with a much greater number of Paladins, backed up by some plumed archers. It looks like they're winning this fight, to be completely honest. The Rams in there will go down quite quickly to the Paladins. I'm trying not to select those in the selection here, because I think it's a bit misleading, to be
Right,
honest.
so they've got so much HP, it
Exactly.
really skews the stats.
It skews the stats when they can't fight back. But
To be honest, they still do a job, right? You see those paladins on the left-hand side,
True.
they're tanking. Those paladins, those plumes
That's
aren't
true.
participating.
But Velesa now about to strike back. 55 plumes. There's a huge 66 plumes right here from Tim. That's too many, man. It's too many.
You really don't want to try to fight into that mass without your own rams in there to get the tanking in, right?
But it is quite a close call. I mean, this fight, Max and Velese have got less units in total, but Max's units are a little bit tankier, having those paladins, of course. But looks like they are going to back out, and that was a close fight. There's obviously more reinforcements waiting in the back lines to come in. And really, I mean, a huge clash right there with neither team truly coming out ahead.
No.
Maybe a slightly better trade for Suomi overall, though.
I think, to be honest, at this point, any trade for Suomi is pretty good because they have 60 more villages and, most importantly, almost 40 more trade cards. So, as long as they don't take a big trade raid, which these paladins are maybe trying to do.
Yeah, it looks like Vivi there taking a play out of Rubenstock's book and busting through the walls with petards. Paladins
it looks like
immediately being reacted to.
There's another layer of walls there to sort of stem the flow of
yeah, or
the
at least
knights
funnel
not
them
running in.
into the stables so Max can deal with them, right?
Exactly, and that keeps their trade safe. And then if they have more trade, every time there's a fight, they're going to keep reinforcing their army faster than Frantic can.
Coming out on top, coming out ahead.
Ooh, but look at that, getting that gauge in to trap these paladins
nice.
inside. There is
Very
still
nice.
that one petard there. He could try to bust through.
Oh, he's going to get it. Yeah. Surely. He's got it.
It might have
He's
enough.
gone.
Oh,
Can he rebuild? Not possible.
no.
Okay, that
That was pretty good.
certainly a lot of paladins in there from Vivi. 35 against 9. And Max has a lot of army out on the left-hand side, so he may want to bring that back, or they just commit
And try to
to
push
making a big
push
push
that
here
side while
the
defending.
paladins are away.
Oh, but Tim's here as
Oh
well.
my goodness, this
If
is
those
huge.
plumes can get into the
Part of it.
trade,
Hiccups.
can the plumes make it into the trade lines though? That is what he wants to do. There's one trade
so
card that
much
they can
here.
snack on there.
Snack on that little snack.
Yeah.
Look at that little snack. Look at him run. Bam!
And the dirt is gone.
That's the new Sillet Bang advert right there.
But if for someone asking how do you see the trade, if we unselect
here.
units, we can see 50, 60 more trade cards for Suomi now. Huge numbers, massive gold income for them, but there's still a slight military lead for Frantic, but it's starting to level out, and Rubenstock is starting to create some military, it seems.
Yeah, what's he making?
I don't know, like it says he has 6 military, maybe it's just a couple of
Rams. He's
rams.
making rams at the moment.
Somewhere
But I think
there is a
he's-
ram rush coming.
Making them... He's making them on the other side? I don't know.
He's making rams somewhere.
Here? In the middle. There you go. He's going to ram rush Vivi's base. But that's a big problem for Max right here. He's massively outnumbered. And those plumes, although they don't do the most against Paladin,
They've got a nice little
chunk
corner.
away at that health when they're backed into a corner like this.
And then Vivi's Paladin can also come in here and get the counter surround, as it were. But oh no, Valesse's coming in as well from the left-hand side.
Oh yeah, there you go.
They've recognized, okay, we need to deal with this army now. Valesse's coming over. They're slowing down their push on the front, but they might still get a castle
On the front
on this
side, they
left
can
side,
kill this castle.
if they had some siege.
They've got one ram from Rubenstock. It's
Oh,
on
yeah.
the way over. But this is a good fight now for Suomi. They did bring that back with the addition of Valesse in there. And you've got to admit, Max did a good job of stalling that army out. If that army came in and made it through to the back lines where the trade is, they would have trouble. But there's more layers of walls, so it's not so easy for Team Frantic to get to the back lines as quickly as they'd like.
But if they had gotten out those 30-odd plumes there, they would have shredded the trade numbers.
Yeah.
So really good job by Max, forcing them to stay outside the trade lines. And Xiaofan's base is just flashing dots everywhere, it seems. But this ram rush...
Oh, Xiaofan's base, or you mean Vivi's base?
I was going to say both, actually. This is Rams taking down buildings all over the place.
He's got to send Paladins to deal with that. He can't afford to lose his TCs and castles, of course. And then in the middle of this castle here, it's not going to go down just yet, but we've sort of got 3 or 4 different fronts at the moment. We've got this huge engagement in the middle. On the left side, the push from Max and Valesse as well. And then on the right side, even Rubenstock trying to get involved and do what he can with some rams coming in. Look,
Just random
Sneaky
like
rams.
you got this one sneaky siege workshop in the middle of Vivi's base somehow.
yeah,
78
good point.
HP.
That's his. It's still going. It could be making another ram right now. It's not, but it could be.
It could be.
And Rubenstock preparing for the berserks.
An infantry switch, mix of pikes and berserks would do perfectly well against these cavaliers. And it seems that Xiaofan is also
Yes.
going into cavalry. I saw him getting cav armor a second ago, so probably cavaliers from him.
And he's also doing Onager right now. So Xiaofan up to Imp and will be starting to, I guess, enter the fray as well.
Start to get going in the game. That's true. They sort of need him to at this stage. Like, at the 1 hour mark, which we're approaching, you can't really sling very much anymore that's useful. Unless, like, your allies delete all of their villages, but that's just risky to the players.
Yeah, right. Looks like Vivi's going to get cleaned up here. He's trapped in. They re-walled behind him. Can't get out. His paladins are doomed.
Yeah.
250
Close
health
to
against
here.
5,200. Ooh, you do the math. Not that there's any math to do.
We're just reading out the numbers and then saying, wow, that number's a big one.
That number is a big one. Yeah. Look at this push, though, here. This
There's-
is good.
And there's an onager to keep cutting through that forest so they can try to...
Look at that. Getting onto those villages, trying to deny that castle. So many plumes here from Tim. 68 of the damn things. But if they can deny the castle and maybe just get those plumes into the trade, they can suppress the trade numbers for Team Frantic. They're still quite far behind in trade numbers overall. And there they go. Plumed archers now. Going
Running
to the
in.
left
The
side.
castle has gone up, so that's going to prevent too much damage from happening now.
Still, it's a great raid.
Going to take them down, but I think Tim and Vivi should be able to chase this down fairly quickly without taking massive losses.
We've got a lot of units there.
Yeah, they're going to lose, 10, 15 trade carts. Yeah, it's painful, but it's not the end of the world.
I absolutely love this little pie chart as well, showing the ratio of units.
Right, from one
It's
player
so
to the
cool.
other.
It's so cool. But yeah, 72 trade though. That actually tips them below half the trade of Suomi. They've got to be very careful for that now. Max also making a push on the right side. Looks like they're preparing here
Oh,
to
yeah,
cut through.
Rubenstock's getting onager attack.
Onager
Don't
gonna cut
attack,
through.
though.
Ah, no, give yourself away.
Maybe they're not going to pay attention,
So
though.
TC here. Never finished it, but
How do you even get a villager there in the first
no
place?
idea. Onager cut through here. Paladin to come through, and then bam, you're in the trade on the opposite side. They've just responded here. The whole of the
Frantic military is on that side of the map, and
but
all
it's
of a
on the wrong
sudden,
place, right?
there's going to be these Paladin, there's also some Rams as well. Rubenstock are coming forward with more villages.
And they're
they're
going to
even,
take down the castle here.
even here as well.
So Suomi pulling ahead now significantly. Looks like they're on the path to victory as they will start to raid this trade line on the opposite side. Where's the nearest military from Frantic? It's just nowhere in
Nowhere to
sight,
be
is
seen.
it? It's down here. Look, that's where it is.
But they have to fight that army in the middle, it seems. They haven't even noticed, I guess, this trade raid happening. And honestly, I think the trade raid is going to decide the game. If Frantic can't defend this, they're going to lose their trade cards, they're going to lose their markets, and
Well, they're already calling GG.
they're calling it.
So that's it right there. Tim giving it up, and Suomi. Quite a convincing victory over Team Frantic there. They will take the 2-0 and go through to the semi-finals, where they will face the winner of the next series, actually. The next series today, which will be coming up after this. So, well played to Suomi. Frantic there just couldn't hold it together on Regicide Fortress. The big trade raids in the end causing them the loss. And all in all, I mean, Civs-wise, it was quite interesting. Obviously, Spanish and Mayans going to be the main players. And then Vikings and Berbers both going for the sling. But you can see the difference in slung resources. Xiaofan, the main slinger, only sending 12k resources because, of course, he got raided so hard by Velese earlier on. And then you take a look at the other side and you can see that 35k resources from Rubenstock going out to the Max and Velese there and allowing them to essentially do a much bigger, stronger, better push. Or in the words of Daft Punk, harder, better, faster, stronger. But that's it for Suomi Frantic. Well played to them. Of course, coming up next, we do have Heresy versus VNA. The winner of this will face Suomi in the semi-finals. That wasn't a raid. It was a complete leveling of his base. That's fair, Elvenor. That is fair. I'll give you that. And yeah, just to remind everyone, we will be having the LAN final in the Escape studio at the end of August, the last weekend of August. You can find out more information and get yourself a ticket on our website. The link is in the chat right now. Join the Discord server. You can ask questions there, and you can read about the LAN information on that page. Anyone is welcome to come to the LAN. We're expecting, well, we have over 100. Well, we have 100 tickets for sale. We might be able to add a few more, but I don't think that's likely.
Right, but
Once they're gone, they're gone.
that's 100 guests, but that doesn't include, the players from the two teams. That's 10 players. There's 4 casters. There's going to be us. There's going to be some other possibly invited people as well.
Yes, some Microsoft people, community managers.
Some people from Forgotten Empires, maybe,
Forgotten
right?
Empires people. 72 tickets in stock as of now. But obviously it's a little way out yet, so I imagine most people doing what most people typically do and do everything in the last minute. So there'll be a mad rush to buy the tickets.
I presume so over the
And
last
some people
couple
are
of
going to
months.
miss out, and they're going to say, I'm sorry, but I didn't get there in time. Can I have a ticket? And we'll say, nope, sorry, but you didn't buy your ticket in time. So
Feels
make
bad,
sure you
man.
do that. Watson, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub. Welcome to the team, and thank you for the support. Coming up next, Heresy VNA. Can I press the button?
Yes, you can press the button.
I'm pressing the button. What do we got? Lombardia, Fortress Frisia.